The Kansas City T-Bones proudly present T-Bones Baseball on the Air. Members of the American Association of Independent Professional Baseball Clubs and home of fun well done. The T-Bones Broadcast Network is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Now let's head out to the ballpark for the starting lineups and the first pitch with the voice of the T-Bones, Nathan Moore.
Good evening and welcome back to Community America Ballpark, live in Kansas City, Kansas. Nathan Moore back with you as the Kansas City T-Bones continue this quick three-game homestand between the St. Paul Saints. Kansas City with a big win last night. Phenomenal pitching by Kickham in his second start here at Community America Ballpark. So Kansas City will look to another right-hander and David Holman to try to give Kansas City their second consecutive win as the T-Bones have won 3 of their past 4 games. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. First for the Saints at 28 and 14. Leading off, the second baseman is Alonzo Harris. Batting second, the center fielder Breland Almadova. Batting third, the third baseman is Nate Hansen. Angelo Sanko, the first baseman, will be in the cleanup spot as Tony Thomas, the shortstop, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the left fielder is Willie Argo. The designated hitter, Tony Caldwell, will bat seventh as Chad Christensen, the right fielder, bats eighth. And rounding out the order is the catcher, Aaron Gretz. Harris, Almadova, Hansen, Sanko, Thomas, Argo, Caldwell, Christensen, Gretz for the Saints. They will be tossing John Straka. For the Kansas City T-Bones, John Massarelli's squad is 17 and 24, and they will send out Starlin Rodriguez at the top of the order again in left field. Batting second, the center fielder Tyler Massey. Jake Blackwood bats third. He's at first base, as Anthony Gallas, the DH, will be in the cleanup spot. Batting fifth, the shortstop Vladimir Frias. Brett Wiley at second baseman bats sixth. Jimmy Mojica, second consecutive start at third base. He'll bat seventh, as Dalton Wheat, the right fielder, bats eighth. Batting ninth is the catcher, Brian Erie. Rodriguez, Massey, Blackwood, Gallas, Frias, Wiley, Mojica, Wheat, Erie for Kansas City as the T-Bones look to take full advantage of the series tonight and get back into the win column for the second consecutive night here at Community America Ballpark. First pitch from Holman is on the way, and it's a called strike on the inside corner. Trent Delmont, your home plate umpire. Brian Child is at first base. And our third base umpire is Mr. Sandberg. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Alonzo Harris and a high pop-up that will reach the seats behind home plate. And the count's 0-2. Kansas City got a phenomenal start from Kickham last night. They're looking for another productive outing here tonight by Holman. Couple of pitches, couple of strikes as he jumps ahead of Alonzo Harris, a .257 hitter. 0-2 pitch, routine ground ball. Vladimir Frias has it over to first, and a good start for Kansas City on the 6-3 putout. Once again, defensively for Kansas City. On the defensive side, Mojica at third, Frias at short, Wiley at second, Blackwood at first. Erie does the catching. Outfield left to right, Rodriguez, Massey, Wheat for Kansas City. The game opens up with a 6-3 putout of Alonzo Harris. Kansas City got some production pretty quickly last night, but really got a phenomenal start. Once again, you can't say enough about another great start by Mike Kickham. Here's a little blooper, shallow left center field. Massey, a good jump on the run. He's not going to get there. It's a bloop single for Almadova. So a one-out single by the center fielder. And the Saints have their first runner aboard with one on and one out here in the first inning. Kansas City with the maroon tops, white pants, black numbering and lettering. The Saints with the road grays. Gray tops, gray bottoms, and the St. Paul logo across the front and the chest in blue. There are some individuals out on the berm tonight, which can expect won't have very many visitors tonight. A ton of rain in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Base hit down the left field line, trouble here in the opening inning. Nate Hansen has an extra base hit, first to home, all the way around is Almadova. He'll score, and just like that, after the leadoff ground ball dealt to the shortstop Frias, back-to-back base hits, and the Saints have a 1-0 lead. Their first lead in the first 2 games of the series, only 3 batters into the game. So Nate Hansen drives in Almadova, who scores all the way from first. Rodriguez had some trouble in the left field corner. It's 1-0 Saints. And now in scoring position is Hansen himself as the first baseman, Sanko, will come to the plate. It's the early troubles for Kansas City with the rotation. Finding a way to survive a game in the first 3 innings, which typically, that's when your starting pitching is usually at their strongest point. But for Kansas City starters, it's that first couple of innings. You get past the third, and they're usually in pretty good shape. The bullpen has done their fair share of the workload this summer. There's a first pitch strike to Sanko, who's having a very, very good season. Once again over 300. 8 home runs, 24 RBIs. He hit a couple of home runs against Kansas City already this year. Runner at second base is Nate Hansen, who struggled against Kansas City earlier this year in St. Paul. The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. And Sanko behind to the count, 0-2. It's turned to a nice evening tonight. Obviously, the sun is nowhere to be found. We've had nothing but rain throughout the entire day, and it came in late last night. Some areas got upwards to 4 inches of rain in the metro area here in Kansas City. 0-2 pitch, fastball outside, and the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4 inches of rain in some parts, so you can just kind of visualize what you think the baseball field and playing surface is like tonight. And the infield, the grass is in phenomenal playing order. You couldn't ever tell we had so much rain. Here's a ground ball into center field. That's another hit. 3 consecutive hits, and the Saints have a 2-0 lead. Only 4 batters into the game. So a complete turnaround from last night. So Sanko was another base hit. That's with 2 strikes on him. Too much of a plate. And 3 consecutive hits for the Saints, as they have been productive here against the right-handed starter, David Holman. Holman coming into the season, or coming into tonight, 2-3 with a 5.71 ERA. So he has struggled. Had a couple of great starts and initiated out of that bullpen, but he has struggled of late in the rotation. Last time out against Fargo-Moorhead, he went just 5 1/3, gave up 6 runs in that start. Here's a high fly ball, center field. Massey going back, still going back to the warning track. He's going to make the catch. He was all turned around and was able to relocate it on the warning track to make the second out of the inning. So finally, the second out is recorded. 5 batters into the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Willie Argo. So 3 hits, 2 runs are in. We're in the top of the first inning of a 3-game set. Game number 2. Kansas City won last night, trying to win the series outright tonight. T-Bones coming into this game 7 games back of the 500 mark. The Saints are 14 games over 500. Willie Argo is batting .275, 5 home runs, 24 RBIs, and the first pitch is buried into the dirt, and the count's 1-0. Holman with now 11 pitches in the first inning. 2 outs, 2 runs already in. Trying to get out of the first inning, give Kansas City's offense an opportunity to strike back. This may be a high-scoring game when you look at the 2 pitching matchups and look at the ERAs coming into the game. John Straka for the Saints, 5-2, but the ERA of a 6.26. So a pitcher who has been giving up quite a few runs this year. So this might be one of those games where a lot of offense may be required. The 1-0 pitch, slammed on the left field line. It's a fair ball into the corner again. Starlin gets to the baseball this time a little bit quicker, and it's going to hold the runner at third base. So it is a double by Willie Argo. Luckily for Kansas City, Sanko could not score from first base on the double. And here we go with a pitching coach visit to the mound in the first inning, as Bill Sobey wants to make sure this game does not get out of control in the very first inning. So Bill Sobey will have a slow walk out to the mound as he wants to talk to his right-handed starting pitcher. 2-0 lead for the Saints, 4 hits in the inning, and now the 7th batter of the inning to the plate, and Tony Caldwell. It has not been an easy inning for David Holman, who got the first out on a very routine play to the shortstop, Frias. Since then, it's been single, double, single, deep fly out to center, and then another double. So Bill Sobey's meeting is over, and David Holman really needs to dig deep here. Another base hit for the Saints would possibly double their lead out to a 4-0 lead. So Kansas City really needs their right-hander to get back into the zone, get them out of this inning, and give their offense an opportunity to stay in this game early. 2-0 lead for the Saints. Once again, top of the first, still looking for that third out of the inning. Runner at third base is Sanko. Runner at second base is Argo. Here's the pitch. Way inside, so far it hit him. So that conference meeting didn't result in the positive effects. And now we're going to see the bases loaded, and the eighth batter to come to the plate in the inning, the right fielder Chad Christensen. David Holman, a couple of times drafted by the Seattle Mariners, and a couple of fans being a little restless already. You're in the first inning, so really Kansas City has got to find a way to get Holman to get out of this. There's a line drive in a center field. You've got one of the best center fielders in the league, and Tyler Massey makes the catch, and the inning is over. So 2 runs scored in the first. It could have been significantly worse for Kansas City. After half of an inning, St. Paul 2, Kansas City coming up on the other side of the break on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 St. Paul with the early lead. Now it's up to the Kansas City offense to hopefully get at least one of those runs back in the first inning. They will be facing the right-hander in John Straka. When you look at Straka, 6'3", 220-pound right-hander from Chaska, Minnesota. Last year pitched for Sioux City. John Straka has started 8 games this year, 5-2 record. Last start against Winnipeg, he threw 5 innings, allowed 10 hits and 7 runs. The Texas Rangers selected Straka in the 32nd round back in 2013. Drafted from the North Dakota State University, which is located in Fargo, North Dakota, and has a career 25-10 record with a respectable 4.09 earned run average. So here we go. Starlin Rodriguez, Tyler Massey, Jake Blackwood. Kansas City will look to continue the rough, rocky beginning of the year for John Straka. First pitch of the game for him is a called strike on the outside corner, 85 miles per hour. Straka doesn't have a ton of velocity, but he's a pretty good pitcher. He uses 4 pitches. The 0-1 pitch is popped foul straight back. That is the fastball at 89, and that was a pitch that caught a ton of the plate. Rodriguez fouled it back. Starlin batting .232, a couple of home runs, 9 RBIs, batting right-handed against the right-handed starting pitcher. 0-2 pitch from the windup, and Straka misses a bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The grounds crew did a phenomenal job getting the game ready to play without even a delay tonight, which is remarkable in itself. The warning track still has some problematic areas. That's to be expected. 1-2 pitch, lined in left center field. It's going to drop in for a hit. Quickly over to come the center fielder Almadova. It's a leadoff single for Kansas City, Starlin Rodriguez. So a good start for Starlin. Good start for the Kansas City offense. And the T-Bones have the first runner potentially on base. And up comes the center fielder Tyler Massey. So Kansas City kind of altering their lineup a bit. Obviously Massey was so good in the 3 spot. Blackwood so good in the 4, but Anthony Gallus coming back after a few games getting some rest. He's back in the cleanup spot, so everybody else moving up a spot. And Massey pops this one up on the left side. It'll reach the seats, and the count's 0-1. The infielders in particular will have to be extra careful, as will the outfielders, of course, with the warning track. There is going to be a lot of slick spots, a lot of slick surfaces. Might see some players maybe not hustling 100% on that warning track just to prevent some possible sliding, some bailing out. The 0-1 pitch is a bit low. Fastball missed, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-0 St. Paul. We're in the bottom of the first. Kansas City with the leadoff single. Rodriguez is at first base. Tyler Massey batting .297, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Left-handed center fielder with the count even. The 1-1 pitch is a chopper to the shortstop. Into center field for a hit. Rodriguez stops at second base. We'll see how they rule it on Tony Thomas. It looked like a double play ball all the way. And Tony Thomas, I don't even know if he even put his glove on the baseball. As we get a replay here. No, he just completely olayed it. He never even touched the ball with the glove. And into center field for Massey. So instead of a routine 6-3 double play, or a 6-4-3 double play, Kansas City will have runners at first and second here in the first inning. So the tying runner is on base. Blackwood is at the plate. At the moment, the scoreboard has not updated, whether that be a hit or an error. But definitely a play that Thomas should have made. Blackwood to follow, and the first pitch he sees is in the dirt. Blackwood for Kansas City, getting that average back up there like we all know he would. .266, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. They have officially ruled it an error, and he's 6, so Kansas City runners at first and second. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and a smash out of play to the right side. And Jake down to the count of 1-2. So .266, Blackwood hitting at the plate. Second consecutive year back in Kansas City. Played with the T-Bones back in 2010 when he was the MVP of the league and had a couple of seasons in Winnipeg. The 0-2 pitch is in the dirt, and the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is a big at-bat for Kansas City early. And I mean a big at-bat for Kansas City early. Gallus, a power hitter to follow. Couple of big home runs last night. But Blackwood trying to avoid a double play ball. Continue to move the runners up. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Now that evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind is howling a little bit toward left, then kind of circling back toward home. So not really a advantageous wind for a hitter or a pitcher. Blackwood with the count even, 2-2. T-Bones with the tying runner on. They trail by 2. And this pitch is outside, ball 3, 3-2. Tonight, post-game fireworks courtesy of Community America Credit Union. Tomorrow night, a big Independence Day celebration. Tickets available at tbonesbaseball.com or fireworks tomorrow night. I'd love to have you out here tomorrow night. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed on a hard slider inside, and down goes Blackwood for the first out of the inning. So Straka's first out is a big one. It's a strikeout on a 3-2 pitch. Kansas City did not have the runners moving. So now 1 out, 2 on for Anthony Gallus, who had a big bang return last night. And the T-Bones desperately needed it from Anthony Gallus, who now has 7 home runs to go with his 17 RBIs. First pitch is a fastball strike on the outside corner. Gallus, 2 for 4 last night. Both hits went the distance. He is batting .223. Kansas City trying to take advantage of a couple of runners aboard. And Gallus takes a bit low. Evens the count, 1-1. No, they say he went around on the check swing. So Brian Child at first base said that Gallus went. And he is down to the count of 1-2. Sterling at second base. Massey is at first, both reaching to begin the bottom of the first inning. A solid single to left center, followed by an E6. Straka trying to work out of some trouble. The 0-2 pitch hit well to deep right center field. Back goes Almadova to the warning track. He's going to track it down and make the catch for out number 2. Up to third goes Rodriguez, as Kansas City has runners on the corners and now 2 outs. So Gallus about 5 feet shy from giving Kansas City the lead with his third home run of the series. Came up a bit shy, and Kansas City now will need a hit to get the first run across. Boy, a golden opportunity in the first inning. A leadoff single, followed by a routine play by the shortstop, and then Thomas just simply missed the baseball. So a golden opportunity at first and second, nobody out. And now it's a first and third situation and 2 outs for Vladimir Frias. 224 hitter. Batting left-handed in the first pitch. Down the first baseline, it's a base hit. It gets trapped into the corner. This is going to help Kansas City. Here comes Massey around third. He'll score. And Vladimir Frias has tied the game at 2 in the bottom of the first. That ball hooked into the corner and got kind of hooked in the little nook area down the right field line. And Vladimir Frias, on the first pitch he saw, pulled one down the right field line, and Massey off on the contact, able to score from first on a ball that went 200 feet down the right field line. So Vladimir Frias, a 2 RBI double, and Kansas City responds with a 2-run deficit and ties the game in the first inning. And now they look to take the lead for the first time. Brett Wiley is up at the plate. Couple of home runs, 11 RBIs, and Straka just simply misses with the curveball as it sails way high. Wiley getting that average back up there a bit. He's up to 269 as Wiley went 3 for 4 last night, had a couple of runs scored. The 1-0 pitch is right down the middle. Fastball at 85, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Holman giving up 4 hits and 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. What do the T-Bones do is respond with 2 runs and 2 hits of their own so far, looking for more. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a smash down the left field line, but hooking foul. It had home run distance, and now the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. If the inning continues, the third baseman Jimmy Mojica would follow. Mojica went 2 for 4 last night, so he's batting .500 for Kansas City in his first start of the year. Runner at second is Frias. Good speed, so a base hit more than likely gives Kansas City the lead. Can Brett Wiley respond with Kansas City's third hit of the inning? Straka looking in. The 1-2 pitch is a little grounder on the third base line. Tough play. Hansen barehanded play. No play. And then Frias overruns third, gets back safely, and Kansas City dodges a big base running mistake. Vladimir Frias with a huge turnaround third, and a very wise decision by Hansen, who threw to third with the shortstop covering, and the tag just barely late, according to the third base umpire Sandberg. It's an infield hit for Wiley. Over to third goes Frias, and Kansas City has 3 hits in the first inning. And up comes Jimmy Mojica. So the T-Bones are sending 7 to the plate in the opening inning. 21 pitches so far for Straka in this opening inning. First pitch to Jimmy on the way, and a big swing and a miss. He was not looking for a line drive hit. He was looking for a 3-run homer. Kansas City would settle for a single. That would give them the lead. Straka committing the cardinal sin here in the first inning after Kansas City coughing up a couple in the first. He comes right back and gives up a couple of his own. However, a gigantic error by Tony Thomas at shortstop. This should have been 3 up, 3 down, or at least 3 to the plate. A double play that was not turned is turned into 2 runs. Can Kansas City make it more? Ground ball past third into foul territory, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That baseball will be tossed into the crowd with the third base coach Dave Schaub, as it is absolutely covered in mud. 2-2 tie, bottom of the first inning. The T-Bones logo behind home plate, all in red, white, and blue, indicating 4th of July weekend. Big breaking ball and a foul tip to just barely stay alive. So Mojica will live for another pitch. It all started with a base hit by Starlin Rodriguez. Massey reached on an E6. Blackwood struck out. Gallus flied out to deep center, but Vladimir Frias in the first pitch ripped a 2-run double down the right field line. And now Mojica taking a fastball outside, 2-2. Kansas City not making it easier on Straka, who has now thrown 26 pitches here in the first inning. Last night, Kickham went 8 innings, did not allow a run for the Kansas City starters. Here's a high pop-up that goes foul. That was pitch number 27 for Straka in the first inning. Each team only had to throw 1 inning out of the bullpen last night. Obviously, both teams hoping for more of the same tonight. They would like their starters to give them some length, protect that bullpen. Kansas City's next off day will be on July 10th, a week from tomorrow. Kansas City with 3 games in Sioux Falls coming up on Monday night through Wednesday. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, guided to the left side. Into left field. Kansas City catches another break. In comes Frias, and Kansas City has a 3-2 lead. That was a difficult play. The third baseman, Hansen, kind of caught in the middle of nowhere. He was charging in, overran it, and the shortstop, Thomas, kind of gave way, and then it went right in between them. I don't know if Hansen fields that perfectly if they get the out of Mojica at first base. They rule it an infield single, so Kansas City adds their 4th hit of the inning. Mojica picks up an RBI, and Kansas City has the lead. So Vladimir Frias comes in to score. It's now 3-2 Kansas City. Wiley moves up to second. In the 8th batter in the inning to hit is Dalton Wheat. And the first pitch he sees is fouled straight back on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball from John Straka, who is about to throw his 30th pitch of the first inning. St. Paul coming into the series, the best team in the American Association, based on their record. 14 games above 500. 0-1 pitch is high, and the count is even 1-1. I mentioned after the first half of the inning, or the first half of the first inning, that this may be a high-scoring affair based on the ERAs coming into tonight's matchup. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch into left field. Argo is there, looking into the air, makes the catch, and out number 3, but not before. Kansas City takes advantage of a huge double play error by Tony Thomas at short. Adds 4 hits to bring in 3. And as we head to the second, Kansas City holds on to a 3-2 lead on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid. The familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
We head to the second inning. Kansas City holding on to a 3-2 lead as we head to the second. 9-1-2 hitters. Aaron Gretz, Alonzo Harris, Bruland Almadova, the 3 to face Holman in the second. And the first pitch of the second is a ball, 1-0 on Aaron Gretz. Catcher batting .351, couple of home runs, 15 RBIs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a smash to the right side. Good defensive play by Blackwood, who pitches it to the pitcher covering. A nice defensive play by Jake Blackwood. That saved a base hit. And a nice job by Holman to cover. 1 up, 1 down in the second. On a nice defensive play. 1 up, 1 down for the second baseman, Alonzo Harris. And the first pitch is a bit outside. So Alonzo Harris batting for the second consecutive inning. Harris started the game with a routine ground ball to Frias. He is 0 for 1. Harris last night 1 for 4. A ton of speed at the top of the order. And a called strike at 79 miles per hour. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield is straight away. No shift. Fairly deep in left is Rodriguez. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And way inside. The count's 2 balls and a strike. Mojica way off the bag at third. He is guarding the line to protect against a double. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Holman. And Harris takes a curveball for a strike. The count's even 2-2. Alonzo Harris, one of the good speed guys at the top of the order in this league. He has just got blazing speed, and when he is on base, you have to worry about potential stolen bases, but also he's got very good power. 9 home runs out of the leadoff spot. That's obviously very, very good when you talk about home run production. And a very good offensive team like St. Paul has. The 3-2 pitch to Harris. And a swing and a foul ball into the dugout of St. Paul. The count stays full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the second inning. 3-2 Kansas City with the lead. Second game of the series. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And just off the inside corner. So Alonzo Harris with a 1-out walk. And up comes the center fielder, Breland Almadova. Almadova singled and scored in the first inning. Kind of a little bloop. Almadova batting .282, takes the first pitch strike. Oh, 1 pitch. Kansas City looking for a ground ball, potential double play. The pickoff attempt goes over to first. Easily back is Alonzo Harris. Runner at first base, Harris. 1-out walk in the inning. Kansas City trying to get a quick inning out of Holman in the second after the offense put up 3 runs. Holman coming set, throws back over to first. Diving back is Harris. No tag is applied. Look at some numbers offensively for St. Paul. As Holman looks in, runner takes off. Erie with a perfect pitch to throw on, and Alonzo Harris is gunned at second base. A perfect pitch to throw on. And Brian Erie with the dart to second base gets the caught stealing. I was about ready to say that St. Paul had stolen 50 bases in 58 tries. That is really, really good in regards to Alonzo Harris. He is now 17 of 20. That is just the 3rd time this year that Harris has been caught stealing, and it could not have come at a bigger time. So a 1-out walk, it is now erased. And now 2 outs, base is empty for the center fielder Almadova. Has power as well, 4 home runs. This is a team that has 54 home runs as a team. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and there's a strike. Looked pretty low from up here. Almodovar kind of staring back at Trent Delmont. Brian Erie kind of jumping up right away to receive the baseball, then throw it back to the pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little bit of a shift. The right fielder, Wheat, is straight up. Center fielder Massey a little bit toward right. Starlin more toward left center. 2-2 pitch, straight away center field. Massey has to retreat. Still going back to the warning track, and he runs it down for out number 3. So a 1-out walk is a race on a perfect throw by Brian Erie. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Kansas City holds a 3-2 advantage. We'll come back right after this on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
We head to the bottom of the second inning. Nathan Moore back with you live at Community America Ballpark, Kansas City, Kansas. The T-Bones holding on to a 3-2 lead at the moment. Kansas City will bring up the 9-1-2 batters of Brian Erie, Starlin Rodriguez, and Tyler Massey. The wind continues to cyclone itself around, going from home to left, from right to left. And right now, home to left at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Just constantly keep changing directions. For Kansas City, the team is now batting .245 as Kansas City. Brian Erie for Kansas City is batting just .190. Had a couple of good sacrifice bunts last night that moved some runners around at some pretty key spots. Just a couple of RBIs, no home runs for Brian. Kansas City signing him a little over a week and a half ago. First pitch on the way. Takes a fastball strike on the inside corner. The count's 0-1. Kansas City with 4 hits in the first inning, scored 3 times. St. Paul with 4 hits in the first inning. They scored twice. So all the runs scored in the first. Brian takes another fastball and down in the count of 1-2. It's hard to imagine that tonight we are playing game number 42 of the 100-game season. Big breaking ball, and Brian Erie watched 3 strikes, never once swinging the bat. So strikeout number 2 for John Straka, and 1 up, 1 down for the left fielder Starlin Rodriguez. So that's obviously a plate appearance that Brian wishes he had back as he walks angrily to the dugout. Starlin Rodriguez started the 3-run rally in the first with a leadoff single to left center. Came around to score on the freest ground ball, doubled on the right field line. This time a routine ground ball to second. Harris all over it and throws him out. 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring up the center fielder Tyler Massey. Tyler Massey at the moment, as it stands, reached and scored on an error in the first inning. Came around to score on the same double by Vladimir Frias. He was able to score from first base. It was a routine double play ball to Thomas at short. Thomas never touched the baseball looking at the replay, but ruled an error, and it turned into be a gigantic error. Kansas City turning that into a couple of runs. Had that play been made, then you're talking about a double play, and Kansas City only sends 3 to the plate. This time, left center field, Argo back, now coming in, makes the catch, and a very good bounce-back inning for John Straka in the second. We head to the third. Kansas City still holding on to that 3-2 advantage. We're back after this on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Nathan Moore back with you as we head to the third inning. Kansas City with a 3-2 lead. Second game of a series and a three-game series. Kansas City with a 1-0 advantage of the big win last night. Nate Hansen leading off the third. 1-1 as Holman works from the windup. And the right-hander brings the 1-1 pitch. And way low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Hansen had an RBI double to run scored in the first inning. That was the big hit down the left field line. It kind of got stuck in the mud. Rodriguez had some difficulty getting out of that left field corner. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, chopped foul. Heading into the seats. Now ricocheting into shallow left field. And Jimmy Mojica will go out to shallow left field to retrieve the loose baseball. Holman now with the count 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the third baseman, Nate Hansen. Kansas City looking for another good inning here for David Holman. After a good rebound to second inning, he faced just 3 in the second. After facing 8 in the first, 2-2 pitch is a bit low, 81 miles an hour, and the count's full 3-2. Holman able to work around a 1-out walk in the second inning, courtesy of a beautiful throw out, caught stealing by Brian Airy from behind the plate. 3-2 pitch, just low, and another walk. So Holman has walked 2. He's also hit a batter. So 3 free passes in 2+ innings now. And on this one, hurting because of the leadoff variety. And now you have to deal with Sanko and Tony Thomas, who have immense power coming up. Sanko, RBI hit in the first inning, brings his season RBI total to 25. Angelo Sanko, first pitch swinging and fouls it away. Chased that off-speed pitch down and away. 0-1. Sanko, one of the true overall great hitters in this league. And it's not because of what he's done this year, but had a phenomenal year last year. This was a team that had 3 players that was really vying for the Triple Crown candidacy. This pitch is high, and the count's 1-1. Sanko didn't get the league MVP. His teammate DeFazio got it. He was the catcher for the Saints last year. But Sanko, in my opinion, because he's such a good defensive first baseman as well, that I believe he was more deserving than DeFazio. 1-1 pitch into the hole, the right side. Coming up quickly is Dalton Weed. It's a single. And Sanko back-to-back innings or back-to-back plate appearances with a hit. So he is 2 for 2 in the game, and here come the Saints again. First and second, nobody out, and up comes the shortstop, Tony Thomas. So that leadoff walk now looming larger and larger as the Saints have a runner in scoring position, and it doesn't get any easier. Tony Thomas with 9 home runs, a .318 average coming to the plate. He is 0 for 1, but that 0 for 1 was a shot to about 390 feet away to center field. Tony Thomas, a very good hitter, and what makes him even more dangerous is he is a middle infielder. Big breaking ball, swung on and missed. Tony Thomas, when you get a player, not to say it's rare to see a second baseman or a shortstop put up some power numbers, but when you get the power production and the high batting average like Tony Thomas has done this year, and the RBIs, he is nearing 40 already, he just becomes even that much more valuable for his club. 0-1 pitch is a bit low, and the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Kansas City would love to see a ground ball, an opportunity to turn a double play. There's only been 2 outs on the ground for Kansas City in the game. So far out of the 6 outs, Holman hasn't struck anybody out. All the outs have been made through the air. Also got the nice defensive play by Erie. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, fly ball to center field. This one's pretty well struck. Massey still going back to the warning track, back against the wall, and reels it in. Sanko thought about going to second. He does not. Moving to third, though, Nate Hansen. So Tony Thomas, for the second consecutive at-bat, hits one 390 feet to straightaway center field. At that time, Massey's back was pretty much up against the wall, so hitting it very hard again. Now a double play candidate, left fielder Willie Argo, who is 1 for 1 with a double, but Kansas City really hoping here that Holman can induce a ground ball. They can possibly get out of it with 1 good pitch and a double play. The Saints, on the other hand, is looking for any sort of production just to tie the game. Fly ball to the outfield. Rodriguez in left is very deep, practically standing in the warning track. First pitch way outside, that's 1-0. Right fielder Wheat about medium depth and right. Center fielder Massey playing straight up and center. Double play depth up the middle. Mojica at third off the line a bit. Blackwood holding the runner on at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball, and he popped him up on the infield. Frias calling for it, staring into the sky, and he makes the catch with 2 hands. Out number 2. That is a gigantic out for Holman. A fantastic pitch that got Argo to pop it a mile into the air. That is a huge out. And now 2 outs into the inning, and up comes the designated hitter Tony Caldwell, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning. That might be one of those pitches that we talk about throughout the game. That might have been the pitch that really gives David Holman a long outing tonight. An opportunity to possibly get out of this troublesome spot after a first and second no-out situation. Broken bat ground ball heading up the middle. Wiley has it. Flipped to second. Safe at second base. They say Frias was off the bag. Well, Wiley with incredible range. He got it to Frias, but Frias never had his foot on the bag. And Kansas City got a great pitch again from Holman, but this time the defense can't make the play at second base. Frias never getting his foot on the bag. He was visibly off it according to the replay. So that is an out that Kansas City wishes they could have had, and that's going to be an infield single. And an RBI for Caldwell, so that leadoff walk, as they typically do, turn into runs. Now Sanko to second, Caldwell at first, and up comes the right fielder Chad Christensen, who is 0 for 1. So now 3-3 tie. And the first pitch flies inside for a ball. So Willie Argo with first and third popped up on a mile in the infield, and it looked like Holman was going to escape trouble in the third, but the very next pitch, Tony Caldwell reaching on an infield single, and we're all tied up. Now the 1-0 pitch is back to the dirt, 2-0. Kansas City tomorrow, the probable starter, Jared Messer, will go for Kansas City. No announced starter yet for St. Paul. At this point in time, they have not announced their starting pitcher. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch from Holman. And a ground ball to second. This should do it. Wiley has it over to first. Inning over, but damage done. A leadoff walk, a couple of singles, and after 2.5, the Saints have tied the T-Bones. It's 3-3 on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Nathan Moore back with you. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-3 tie, second game of a series between Kansas City and St. Paul. Here in the 3rd, Jake Blackwood, Anthony Gallus, Vladimir Frias, the scheduled 3 hitters here in the 3rd inning. Kansas City scoring all 3 in the 1st, Saints scoring 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. John Straka with a perfect 1-2-3 second. He is looking for more of the same here in the 3rd. Kansas City trying to get right back on a right-handed starter who has struggled sometime this year. Kansas City looking for their 18th win of the year. They are 17-24. Saints at 28-14. First time this year that the Saints are in Kansas City, and we will not see St. Paul again the rest of 2016. We do not go back to St. Paul, and they do not come back here. Blackwood is 0 for 1, struck out in the 1st inning, and the first pitch takes a first pitch called strike. A very hazy overcast here at the ballpark tonight. A lot of rain in the area earlier. Another called strike. Blackwood down quickly, 0-2. Some areas got upwards to 4 inches of rain from last night into today. Most areas got around 2 inches. 0-2 pitch, line to the second baseman Harris, who had him played perfectly with a shift. So almost took off the head of Straka. In fact, his hat was on the mound as that one just went sailing over the head of Straka. But the shift was on, and Harris made a good snag at second base. Yeah, Straka's hat came off, and probably with the prevailing winds of the line drive off of Blackwood's bat. Blackwood now 0 for 2. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Anthony Gallus. Gallus homered last night twice, and he hit one tonight that went about 5 feet shy from being another home run. He hit it to the deepest part of the park, or the second deepest part of the park in right center field. The deepest is left center. First pitch to Gallus, and the fastball missing high for a ball. Jaron Messer, who has had some very, very good starts of late, and this season ever since being put back into the rotation, will get to start tomorrow night. Kansas City, at that time, we're hoping for an opportunity for the first sweep of the year. Ground ball to short. And Gallus is thrown out by Tony Thomas. 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Vladimir Frias. Frias, the big 2-out, 2-run double in the 1st inning. He also came around to score, so he is responsible for the most part of the 3 runs for Kansas City. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Saints. 3 runs, 5 hits for Kansas City. Only 1 extra base hit for Kansas City tonight, and it came off the bat of the shortstop, Vladimir Frias. 2 outs, base is empty. Kansas City looking for a base runner. Frias showing a bunt, took a strike, 77 miles per hour on the curveball, and the count's 0-1. There's that 4th pitch from Straka. We had not seen it up until this point. 0-1. Back to the fastball. Buried it in front of home plate. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Base is empty. Bottom of the third. Game tied at 3. Both teams have played pretty good overall defense. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a chopper foul on the third base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The only play in which really there wasn't a great defensive play was the first inning. Tyler Massey hit a routine ground ball that was heading up the middle. Tony Thomas was looking for a double play before even fielding the ball. He never touched the baseball with his glove, and it went into center field for a hit. That should have been a play that should have been made. So if you want to talk about hypotheticals, that's really the only defensive play that should have been made that wasn't. And of course, you can never assume a double play, but that really turned that first inning around for Kansas City. 1 ball, 2 strikes the pitch, and Frias takes a bit outside, and it counts 2-2. Tickets available for tomorrow night's game. It's the final game of the homestand, a big celebration of 4th of July on the 3rd tomorrow night, 7 o'clock start. Tickets available at tbonesbaseball.com, where you can purchase and print your tickets directly off the website. Fastest, most convenient way to get your tickets to any home game in 2016. tbonesbaseball.com. 3 balls, 2 strikes the pitch. And Frias lofts it into left field. Playable for Argo. Waits for it to come down, makes the catch. And for the second consecutive inning, Straka has a perfect inning. We head to the 4th inning. Kansas City and St. Paul tied at 3. Back after this on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
We head to the 4th inning. Nathan Moore back with you as the game is tied at 3. The lights are on at Community America Ballpark. In the 4th inning, 9-1-2 batters. Gretz, Harris, Almadova coming up for St. Paul. Kansas City's right-handed starting pitcher, David Holman, back out for his 4th inning of work. Gave up a couple of runs in the first, 1 in the third. He has had just 1 perfect inning. And it wasn't perfect, but a 3-batter faced inning, which was the second. Walked somebody with 1 out, but got a caught stealing to face just the minimum in the second. He faced 8 in the first and faced 6 in the third. So with that being said, pitch count becoming a little bit of a problem area. First pitch to Aaron Gretz is a bit outside. That was pitch number 47 for Holman, once again just at 3 innings on the night. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and buried it in the dirt, 2-0. So a lot of hitters' counts Holman has put himself into tonight, which obviously makes his job that much more difficult. Pitching to the likes of the hitters. Left-handed catcher Gretz takes ball 3. It's 3-0. And you get to the point where these leadoff base runners can be costly. We saw that back in the 3rd inning. And a first pitch strike there on the count makes it 3-1. A leadoff walk to Hansen last inning turned into the only run. A free pass in every inning so far. 3-1 pitch. And a chopper straight back. So Holman coming all the way back down to the count 3-0. Fills it up at 3-2. Now needs to make that payoff pitch a successful one to move this batter along. 3 balls, 2 strikes. From the windup, Holman looks into the pitch. Ground ball to second, so got the job done. Wiley has it over to first, and a great job of not giving in by David Holman after falling behind 3-0, coming all the way back, forcing a routine ground ball to second. Wiley easily puts it away, and 1 up, 1 down to face Alonzo Harris. Earlier tonight, the Kansas City Royals defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 6-2. Kendrys Morales hit 2 more home runs, giving him 14 on the year. Here's a high pop-up that'll reach the seats in foul territory, 0-1. So Kendrys Morales continues to stay hot for Kansas City as the Royals, who lost last night, gets back into the win column. Here's the 0-1 pitch and a fastball strike, 0-2 on Alonzo Harris. Also, one other big note in Major League Baseball, it was the final big news that the Cleveland Indians has finally lost a game. They had set a franchise winning streak, and they were at 14 consecutive wins before losing today 9-6 to Toronto. So that winning streak is finally over, which is good news if you're a fan of a team in the American League Central. 1-2 pitch, a little pop-up, foul territory. Blackwood has to watch it. A lot of mud over there, and he's able to reel it in as he comes crashing against the concrete barrier and near the front row. So Blackwood working around the mud, and a couple of quick outs in the 4th inning. So 2 up, 2 down for the center fielder, Almadova. Almadova, 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first, flied out to center in the second. Get you a look around the American Association scoreboard update in just a second. Bases are empty, couple of outs, trying to get the number 2 hitter out for the second time. Showing a bunt, almost took one to the face, 1-0. Get you the standings in just a little while, too. Kansas City still trying to track down Gary. The 1-0 pitch, way inside. Boy, Almadova has almost been hit today 4 separate times, twice in this appearance. And the count's 2-0. Current games in the American Association coming after this pitch, which will be possibly to the next inning. Ground ball to short. Frias recovers. Got the out at first. So Vladimir Frias had to kind of pop in and out of his glove, but he stood right with it with the phenomenal arm that he possesses. And a shot over to first base to complete a perfect 1-2-3. Top of the 4th inning for David Holman. We head to the bottom of the 4th. 3-3 tie on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Current scores around the American Association. Sioux Falls trailing Winnipeg 4-3. That game's in the top of the 7th inning in Winnipeg. Fargo and Lincoln has already been rained out tonight. That game will be postponed to a future date. No date yet. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Sioux City. Gary with a 2-0 lead over the Explorers. That's in Sioux City and in the 3rd inning. Once again, 2-0 Gary. Also around the league, top of the 4th inning, Wichita leading Joplin 3-1. That's in Joplin. Top of the 4th, Wichita winning that one 3-1. Top of the 4th inning in Laredo. Laredo with a 1-0 lead over Texas. That's your scores around the American Association scoreboard. We'll take a look at the standings in just a little while. First pitch to Brett Wiley is a popper foul straight back and out of play. Kansas City looking to regain the lead. They scored all 3 runs in the first inning. It's tied at 3 in the bottom of the 4th. 6, 7, 8 hitters. Wiley, Mojica, Wheat for Kansas City against Straka in the 4th. 0-1 pitch hit pretty well. Deep left center field. Almodovar drifting over. He'll make the catch in left center field. Pretty good range by the center fielder. And 1 up, 1 down to begin the 4th inning. In the American Association, these are how the standings came into today before any scores were reported. In the North Division, St. Paul at 28-14. They have a 5-game lead over the Red Hawks at 22-18. Fargo has lost 3 in a row. Winnipeg 6.5 back at 21-20. Sioux Falls 13.5 back at 13-26. Sioux Falls with a great start. They've been really rocky ever since. In the South Division, Wichita 24-16, half a game lead over Laredo at 24-17. Laredo has won 4 consecutive games. Texas at 17-24, 7.5 back. Joplin has lost 6 consecutive games, 8 of their last 10. They're 10 back at 14-26. Mojica down to the count of 1-2. Jimmy looking for his second hit of the game. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI. Went after a bad pitch in the dirt. It's going to go all the way back on the warning track. Kansas City will have a base runner on a strikeout wild pitch. So instead of being the second out of the inning, Kansas City gets a free base runner, courtesy of a wicked hop on a breaking ball, and Kansas City has a base runner on for the first time since the first inning. In the Central Division, Gary with a 23-17 record, a 3-game lead over Lincoln at 20-20. Sioux City at 20-21, 3.5 back, and Kansas City 6.5 back at 17-24. The Central still very much wide open. Kansas City also faces Gary 6 more times this season. 1 out, 1 on. Runner was going, and Wheat fouls it off, and the count is 0-1. Dalton is 0 for 1. Young rookie right fielder flew out to left field his first time up. Runner at first, 1 away. And a slow pickoff and move over to first. Easily back is Mojica. So Jimmy 1 for 2. He is at first base. He's already been productive in his first 2 games as a T-Bone, or a returnee to the Kansas City T-Bones organization. Dalton Wheat trying to get his first hit of the night. And he'll take a fastball high above his chin. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Straka nearing 60 pitches as he works here in the 4th inning. There's no action in the bullpen for either team, as once again both bullpens for the most part should be fairly fresh. 1-1 pitch on the way, a little blooper, left field, dropping quickly. Argo coming in, Thomas going out, it's going to drop untouched. And Kansas City's Dalton Wheat gets a little bloop single. So Dalton Wheat adds his first hit of the game. Mojica has to stop at second base. He couldn't definitively feel if that ball was going to drop. So Mojica goes to second. Kansas City has first and second, 1 out. And up comes the catcher, Brian Airy. Brian watched all 3 pitches that he saw in the second. All 3 pitches were called strikes, so he struck out on just the 3 pitches. You can better believe that will not be the same outcome in this at-bat. Straka had 57 pitches trying to work out his trouble in the 4th. Kansas City trying to retake the lead for the second time tonight. First pitch on the way. Ground ball to the left side. Double play ball. Out at second, back to first. Brian Airy has seen 4 pitches, and he's made 3 outs on the offensive end. 5-4-3 double play. Kansas City cannot take advantage of the strikeout wild pitch nor the 1-out single. We head to the 5th inning, all tied at 3 on the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
To the fifth inning we go. Kansas City, St. Paul tied at 3. In the fifth inning, David Holman will face the 3-4-5 batters. Hanson, Sanko, Thomas. Anybody were to reach, Willie Argo would have a chance in the fifth inning. Third time through the order. This is when things get more difficult for any starting pitcher, especially when you're in the heart of the order. So this might be the inning that dictates the game for the start of David Holman. Nate Hanson has reached both times. He has scored both times. A RBI double and a run scored in the first inning. A walk and a run scored in the third. It was a leadoff walk that allowed him to come in to score. First pitch to Nate Hanson, and that's in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Holman on the night has now thrown 60 pitches. That's through 4 innings. He really had to labor a bit in the first, had to labor a little bit in the third. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And a high chopping ground ball to third. Mojica has it. Ton of time and an easy throw to first in time for the out. So Hanson is out for the first time. 1 up, 1 down for the first baseman, Sanko. One up, one down. The first baseman, Sanko, is perfect. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Goes after the first pitch. Comes up empty, and the count's 0-1. Sanko now batting .314. 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. Once again, a dangerous hitter. Every time he steps into the box, there's a chance he could untie a game with one swing. Big swing and a miss. And down to the count, 0-2. So now Holman way ahead of a dangerous power hitter in Sanko. Already 2 for 2 in the game. Can he get him out for the first time? The 0-2 pitch on the way, and the fastball is way high and outside of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last night, Angelo Sanko was 0 for 3. He did have an RBI. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and a smash into deep right center field. Back goes Dalton Waite. Over comes Massey, and it's the center fielder who takes charge and makes the catch for out number 2. So Sanko hit it well, but right into the area of one of the best outfielders in the league in Tyler Massey. Dalton Waite moved over as Massey covered a ton of ground as that ball was hit pretty well into right center field. 2 up, 2 down. And up comes the shortstop, Tony Thomas, who is 0 for 2, but both times he's hit the ball 390 feet. If it was hit anywhere but center or the right center, left center area, that ball would have been gone both times. So a dangerous hitter. Seeing Holman for the third time, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Jumping ahead of Tony Thomas, the 0-1 pitch. It is a breaking ball in the dirt. Good scoop by Erie, and the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 5th inning. We're tied at 3. Each team with 6 hits in the game. Tony Thomas trying to reach for the first time. Gets a high pop foul out of play. And Tony Thomas is behind the count of 1-2. Holman looking sharp here in inning number 5, looking to cap it off. 68 pitches in the game. From the windup, the 1-2 pitch is way outside. Fastball got away from him at 87, and the count's even 2-2. The next pitch will be his 69th of the game, or his 70th of the game. Here's a ground ball to short, and actually they're going to call it a catch as Frias cut it off the shoe tops. And a very impressive 1-2-3 inning. And inning number 5 for David Holman. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Kansas City still looking for that first run since the first inning. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
And not what we wanted to see as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning in a tie game. The tarp has come out onto the field, and the grounds crew is running feverishly to get it on. The rain has just started to pour here all of a sudden at Community America Ballpark, and I'll tell you right now, the Saints are not going to wait in the dugout. The St. Paul Saints players have sprinted to the locker room. And at this moment in time, we're going to be officially in a rain delay, which is not what we wanted to see in a game that was really moving at a pretty good speed tonight. Both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes, doing a lot of things effectively. We had a pretty good game going. And because of the rain delay, now the positive note for Kansas City is that Holman at least got through 5 innings. Straka didn't have a chance to pitch the 5th inning, so it'll actually hurt the Saints more so than Kansas City in regards of the length of a starting pitcher in case this game were to be delayed for quite some time. But for the moment, the tarp is on the field, and the grounds crew making sure that it is done properly and quickly before the rains really come down. It is kind of a hard, heavy sprinkle now. It's nothing that we couldn't be playing through, but they're obviously expecting something much larger, a lot more to come, and just to make sure it doesn't get way out of control with too much rain and too much water damage to the field, they'll go ahead and protect it and hopefully get this sill out of the way and get back to playing baseball in just a little bit. So right now, officially in a rain delay as we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-3 tie, Community America Ballpark, second game of a 3-game series, but we are officially in a rain delay. We'll keep you posted right here on tbonesbaseball.com with any additional details. Make sure to keep note, as I see Deverett and Brad have put the graphic up there on your cameras. If you're watching at home, that you can see on the video broadcast that we are officially in a rain delay. So keep note of that. We'll try to keep you posted as well through here inside of the stadium as well in the FM radio if we have any additional details to share with you in the next 30 minutes or so. Officially in a rain delay. 3-3 tie, bottom of the 5th. And we will talk to you soon if and when we get any additional updates about tonight's game.